Shalom. Giving all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, by Shem Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother Tazawan Ba'ath. And I'm going to bring a short land back lesson off of the brother here, GMS Alliance Welp, right? He's the head brother here in St. Louis. I was watching his lesson this morning, and it put some thoughts in my head, okay, about this woman here. He did a video about this woman. It says, Shirley says, quote, "We created passport brothers because we don't need black men." Okay, end quote. So he did a very edifying lesson on Isaiah 4:1, right? Coming to pass because of the attitude that so-called black women have against so-called black men, which is really the women of Israel, right? So-called Negroes, Latino, and Native American women. Your attitude against your own men. And what I'm going to do is, if I can, go to the actual video, which I think this is it, okay? And we'll listen to it a little bit. I only have 2-3 scriptures that I'm going to bring out, and these modern day so-called black women, this includes you Hispanic women as well, okay? You're not off the hook because you're not referred to as a black woman. We're talking about all you women of Israel, all right, of the nation of Israel. You have a very proud spirit about yourself, and you only got that way because Esau Edom has allowed you to rule over your men, okay, since probably the late 50s or whatever is where you begin to see women entering into the workforce, okay, in Babylon the Great. And they had that whole sort of thing of feminist movement, okay, coming in the 60s and so forth. All right, and as it progressed, women were initially underpaid, right, because they were quote unquote women, and which was all a plan, by the way, okay, of the elites to get you women into the workforce, okay, because it was a twofold agenda. One being that they wanted to destroy your household, okay, number one, and number two, you were a class of people who were not being taxed, so they wanted to find a way to create more taxes off of you, okay. Now, as it moves forward into the modern age, okay, ever since, I would say, and I'm a little bit older, so I can kind of remember the slow progression and change in the workforce in the 80s, where women began to go into these top level corporate management positions, be it the banks, the schools, as women principals, and so on and so forth. And it continued on even in the military, where women were gaining rank quickly, okay, in which a woman shouldn't even be in the military, but that's another story, okay. So now we find ourselves here, okay, with so-called black women talking a lot of shit against their own men, okay, because, and they've always been a part of, how you would say it, attached, if you will, spiritually to the wicked, all right, to Esau, Edom, to Satan, to the devil, not Satan, but the devil, okay, all right. So anyway, without further ado, let's just listen to what this big mouth has to say.
Because the whole reason why passport bros became a thing is because women, black women in particular, we don't need y'all phone campuses. Okay? We don't need you. And when we say we don't need y'all interpret that as we don't want you. But again, critical thinking, listening, going back to grade school. Saying a need is different from saying a want. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna briefly stop it right here. See, I'm kind of pissed off at even her condescending attitude. Okay, as if she's explaining something to so-called black men as if they're little children. Okay, let's go on.
We had to need you in the past, and y'all got used to that. The same response that we get when we say we don't need y'all is, well, who's going to protect you? First of all, I can protect myself.
And no, you can't because you're not a man. Okay, she looked like she might be pretty hefty. Uh, but if the smallest man was to walk up to her and slap her in her mouth, she wouldn't be able to do anything against it. So that's a lie. Okay, you can't defend yourself.
Second of all, who are you protecting us from? Other men? You see where the problem is? Men are the problem. It always circles back to y'all. If y'all need to be needed but don't want to be wanted, that's a you problem. We want the men that want to be wanted, not need to be needed. Because we don't need you. And that's where the issues come in a relationship dynamic. If you only go after women who need you, then you can feel like you're superior. It's a problem. It's that simple. If you can't come with a logical based argument as to that, some factual information, because literally,
how's about the scriptures that says that the woman was created for the man and not the man for the woman? How about that? That's a logical argument.
I'm telling you, this is what started passport bros. Okay? Mail order brides was a thing for white men. We all know about that, but we are talking about within the black community. And if you don't know that, then you're not focused on why black men felt the need to divest. They felt.
Now, those guys that do travel abroad, to, if you will, I don't know, find love or whatever the case may be, it's just a simple fact is that men are refusing to deal with so-called black women who think like this. Okay? So they can go to other cultures, to other women, okay, who still maintain a little bit of their culture as to know that they're not above a man. Okay? And so that's what men who go abroad, right, to different countries, all right, travel to different countries to deal with other women of other cultures because they're not proud and arrogant such as this woman. And she's probably alone herself.
Felt the need to divest because black women told y'all, we don't need y'all motherfucking asses. The only thing that y'all bring to the table that makes y'all feel like y'all should be the head of the house is the fact that you guys were working and bringing in money. You were the breadwinner. And now that you're no longer the breadwinner, now that you're no longer needed.
And that's what's happened with a lot of these women is because this society has put particularly the Israelite man on the bottom, okay, to where there's certain industries where they used to talk about a glass ceiling for women, but they put a lead ceiling above the so-called black men, black Native American and Hispanic men in this country. Okay, I know several people, several men that should have advanced in certain particular industries and could not, and they would take a woman to do it for the reason of inclusion, okay, and for the reason of diversity and so on and so forth. So many men have been denied, their opportunity, if you will, to advance, okay, because they wanted to be politically correct and put a loudmouth, emotional woman in a position and keep the man down. In fact, either even downsized them and got rid of him altogether.
You don't know what to do with yourself. You feel like we don't want you.
See? So, anyway, now that she's done with that, we get a couple of scriptures here. And watching that, Slocky, let me get back over here. In watching that, it kind of brought to my mind, I don't know why that thing is playing.
Get in and get away.
Slocky.
Get 0% APR financing plus 0 payments for 90 days.
I don't know why that's playing. Slocky. Let's just go over to Isaiah 3. And there's a couple of things in here that I wanted to see, right, and bring out. Okay, so this is Isaiah 3:1. Okay, and at the top you'll see where it reads, "The Most High will remove the leaders." Okay, it's talking about the leaders of Israel. Okay, so at the top it reads, "For behold, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah." Okay, both northern and southern kingdom. Okay, the stay and the staff and the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. The mighty man, right, and the man of war, the judge, right, all these positions are held by men, and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient. Verse 3, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning officer and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. Okay, so now we see where the Lord has stricken Israel and have in a future date, right? We're looking at putting this into today's terms, has removed a lot of men, leaders, and so forth. Now we're coming back, okay, because we're getting to the end of this thing. But the whole point is that the Lord had to do something to us, had to bring us as low as you can go, if you will, all right, by removing the leadership out of Israel, okay? But here you see that it is talking about the positions in Israel that were held by what? The men, not the women. Okay, now we're going to jump down a little bit and read all of Isaiah 3. It's one of my favorite chapters. Now let's go down to let me see where I want to jump back in here. Let's just read Isaiah 3:12. Okay. And it says, "As for my people," right? The Lord speaking through Isaiah. "As for my people," who is talking about Israel, "children are their oppressors and women rule over them." Okay. Now you put that in today's modern terms and you see where men are oppressed, okay, because the women that they dealt with ruled over them. How? Just take for an example, child support, where the children really are being used by the mothers to oppress the man, okay, through the court system, through the friends of the court. All right. So the women are ruling over the men, even in, let's say, working situations on these jobs now. You have more loudmouth, emotional, so-called black women, and I know it for a fact because I've had to deal with them where I work, okay, who try to talk to a grown man as if he's a child by giving him orders, all right, direct orders, you see. But in the court system, you see where women ruling over the men, and this is why somebody like that lady Shirley, okay, that video we just watched, okay, where she says, "We don't need you." Right, because they're a friend of Esau. They're attached to Esau. They're attached to Esau's system, okay, that allows them to live by themselves, make the man pay for his kids, the man can't see his kids, okay, and that sort of thing. All right. So, verse 12 again, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which led thee caused thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths, right? And following the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And having what? The men of Israel who were the leaders, okay? The mighty men, the judges, okay? The men of war, the prophets, you see, the ancient, the elderly men who were carrying all the wisdom, okay? But now you have a situation where Israel is ruled by wicked, badass kids who are raised by a single mother, okay? And the women in the workforce, okay, who are ruling over men, you see? So this whole society based on Esau, okay, these women are proud. Okay, so let's go over to Slovakia. Um, Isaiah 32, and let's see here. Because, well, we could actually read all the way from the top, but let's start at verse 1. Okay, and it reads here, behold, the king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And so, what does it say at the top? It says a glorious future. So, we see this coming now, okay? We know that Lord Yahushua is coming back for his elect, and what? The princes, his men, his prophets, okay, shall rule in judgment with him. And you're starting to see that we're standing on our feet now, okay, and we're getting the breath in us, and we're coming back, okay, all right. And these women, these modern day women, cannot stand that, because now the fact of the matter is that men have options, and that's what that loudmouth didn't really talk about. Okay, men have options. They don't have to deal with an unruly, clamorous woman. All right, verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water, and a dry place as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Okay, and there's going to come a time, as the brother went into, when men are going to have exactly what they want. Righteous men, that is. All right, Isaiah 4:1. When these women are going to be begging for a man to protect them. Okay. All right. And matter of fact, let me just let's see here. Well, let me, if I remember, we'll get over there and read Isaiah 4:1. Okay. But let me go on with this. In verse 3, and the eyes of them that shall see not be dim, and the ears of them that hear not shall hearken. The heart also of the rad shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly. Right? The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Okay, and let me go on to verse 6, and then I'll explain. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instrument also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Okay? Now, when you look at this modern society that you're in, that churl, who is a wicked person, a wicked man, in this modern day in society, we look at Esau and his system, and how the woman has joined his system. Well, has always, as I said earlier, been a part of it. All right, but it was always their plan to destroy you. Okay, As it says in verse 7, the instruments also of the churl are evil. Those instruments are all these policies, these laws that they put in effect, which are not real laws, okay, where the woman is able to basically beat up on the man, okay, in the court system. All right. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. Right. It's better for the woman to raise her children without the father in the house because she'll get more. You see, these are all evil devices and they're lies. Okay. Going on to verse 8, it says, but the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled. Slacky. Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Okay, so really going into, how the Lord is going to make things barren for Israel. Okay, but again, applicability of the scriptures for modern day times, we look at how these women are at ease, okay, in this society, all right, because Esau Edom has allowed them to overstep a man, okay. And matter of fact, well, I got it on my mind. Let's do it here. I had a scripture on my mind I wanted to get, and now it slips my mind. Maybe it'll come back. Let's see. So let's just go to Isaiah 4:1, and we'll read it. Okay, and it reads, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right. Going into the fact that women, when things get really, really bad, women are not going to care what number they are. If they're number 20 in your in your group, okay, they want to be protected. They're going to want to be protected. We'll bring our own stuff. You don't have to provide nothing for it. We just want to, be with you so that we'll have some type of protection. I'll do whatever you say. I'll do whatever you want, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So that day is coming. Okay. And what this lady didn't understand was that the men have options, and it has nothing to do with you not wanting their motherfucking asses, as she put it. Okay. All right. So men don't have to deal with you. So now I'm not wanting to make this real long. We'll go over to Genesis 3:1. Okay, and we're just going to the fact of how the woman sided with the serpent. Okay. And there's a lot in this chapter as it is in the book, but we're just going to focus on the fact that the woman sided with the wicked spirit, okay, with the evil spirit. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord thy power had made, and he said unto her, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? That was the question that the evil spirit, okay, man, said to the woman, okay. Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. See, there you have it right there. That's part. And you see that it's part of a woman's nature to open up her mouth and talk back. You see? Can't shut her mouth. She already talking back in verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, which was a man in the garden, okay, an evil spirit, all right. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doeth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, all right, which is wisdom and knowledge, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Okay, so you notice that the serpent didn't come to Adam. He came, what, to Eve, because what? The woman is the weaker vessel anyway. Okay, which is the point that I'm showing, that she has already attached herself to the wickedness. All right, and she loves to listen to Esau Edom, and loves the system of Esau Edom. Okay, when we put things in their proper perspective in this modern day and time. All right, and I wish that scripture, but it came back to me. I can't remember what it was. It was something else in Isaiah that I wanted to get, and now it slips my mind. Let's see here. Was it? Okay. Well, it didn't come back. So with that, I'll pretty much end the lesson right there. So Eve is, in this day and time, is wicked. Okay, because she's joined, okay, unto Esau Edom and his system. Okay, Shirley doesn't know what she's talking about. All right, just another proud, loudmouth, clamorous woman. Okay, and you'll meet your fate and your end soon enough. All right, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'll see you all again real soon with another lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.